Hello, I'm Robin, and welcome to Bookspin. As you can see, it's a lovely hot summer's day out here, so I thought I'd try filming outside for a change, see how that goes. I'm going to do a book haul video. I've picked up quite a few books since I've last done one of these. It's been a little while. So let's talk about what I've picked up. I'm going to start off with all of the modern science fiction books before moving on to the classic vintage stuff. Let's start off with this book, Loka by S.B. Divya. This is a new release sent to me by 47 North, the publisher, and it's the sequel to Meru, which is the book which I just recently reviewed on this channel. I really enjoyed S.B. Divya's writing in this epic space opera duology. And I really like the cover art on this book. Lovely, lush greens and blue. So I've just started reading this book last night, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this story continues. So, what else have we got? Okay, so the next book is quite interesting. I just recently came back from a trip to China. I was visiting family over there, and I had a look around a Chinese bookshop while I was out there. And of course I had a look at their sci-fi section. I wasn't really planning to pick anything up because I couldn't really find anything in English, but I did find one intriguing book, or I should say pair of books here. Okay, so for some reason these two books came as a pair. This is Liu Cixin, who wrote The Three-Body Problem, a collection of short stories called The Time Migration. Right? These came sold as a package, the Chinese original text and the English translation. You can't buy them separately, they came as a package in the Chinese bookshop. So I thought, okay, that looks quite intriguing. It was pretty much the only English language book I found when I was out there. And it looked intriguing. So yeah, this is the Chinese text. There it is. And the English text, The Time Migration. Let's have a look inside. We've got 7 stories. I don't know if you can see that. I think I might have read one of these already, Taking Care of God. I think I read that one in an anthology previously, maybe. So that could be intriguing. I'm not sure if this book has had a Western release or not, or maybe it was released under a different title or a different set of stories or something. But so that looked intriguing. I'll give that a read sometime. What else we got? Okay, so Peter F. Hamilton, Pandora's Star. Look at this whopper of a hardback. Now, I have already shown this book on my channel when I did that recent space opera video. So I am due to meet Peter F. Hamilton at a book event quite soon, and I wanted to pick up more of his work to see, if he could sign something. I've already read one of his books, Manhattan in Reverse, but I've not read any of his big epics. So I picked up this book, this huge tome, Pandora's Star, epic space opera, which I plan to read at some point, probably next year, and its sequel, which is called Judas Unchained. So I got both of these books secondhand online. They're in pretty good condition. Love the cover art. Again, another huge chunky epic. It's a duology, so it's going to take me a little while to sink my teeth into these two books, but I'm looking forward to it. What else we've got? Okay, so I've got a couple more modern SF books here. This one is called The Rig by Roger Levy. It's a lovely, colourful cover. Again, the colours here seem to be matching the sky. So a quite a chunky one. It's about 600 pages. I picked up this book because I recently met and interviewed Roger Levy for my local science fiction group. And again, thanks to the publisher, in this case Titan Books, I requested them to send me a copy. So they've sent me this. I met the author, very nice chap, and I got him to sign this. So I look forward to reading that at some point. And the last modern SF book I got recently is this little book. It's called I Am AI, or I Am I, by Ai Jiang. Okay, a Chinese Canadian author. She's quite young. I think she's in her 20s. And this is a very slim book. You can see it's actually a novelette. I think it's not even novella length. But I heard some good things about it, so I ordered this one, and it's just 59 pages long. Yeah, so that'll be a very quick read. But it looks quite intriguing, so I'll give that a try sometime. Okay, let's move on to the vintage stuff. Now, yesterday I went on a trip to Astley Book Farm, which is quite a large second-hand bookshop out in the Midlands. And they've got a lovely cafe there, and they've got a great selection of sci-fi books and a lot of vintage stuff. So I've been there before. I went back there. I didn't go crazy. I didn't pick out loads and loads of stuff. I'm trying to be a little bit more discerning in the things I do pick up. But let me show you what I found. Okay, so Robert Silverberg, what's this called? Recalled to Life. Lovely vintage copy. It's 75 cents. So a US import with a sticker saying British edition 3 and 6. That shows you just how old this is. It's pre-decimal, so it's got to be before 1970. Copyright 1958, 1962. I don't know this one, but I know Silverberg is a very accomplished author, a very prolific author. I've only read The Book of Skulls by him, but I really enjoyed that one. I want to read more of his work, and I just love the vintage cover art on this one, so I picked it up. So another vintage one I picked up was The Door into Summer by Robert Heinlein. This is one that I have heard of, actually. So this one, I think there are elements of time travel in this one. I am not a huge fan of Heinlein's writing, or at least what I've read so far. I've read a couple of his big hitters. But that doesn't mean I'm quite ready to give up on him just yet. I want to try some of his perhaps lesser well-known stuff. And again, I was attracted by the vintage cover art. So let me know if you've read this one. Is it any good? Should I give it a chance? I think if I ever do another big three book review trio, Asimov, Heinlein, and Clarke, then this will probably be the Heinlein book that I would pick for that. Now this one I'm very pleased to have found. The Dying Earth by Jack Vance. Very highly rated classic. And this is in pretty much mint condition. Look at that purple edges. Nice cover art. This was the most expensive one that I picked up. I think it was £12.95. The rest were more like sort of £5-ish. So this book wasn't sort of... I'd heard of it. I've heard good things about it. But it wasn't kind of one of those books I thought I must read. But its reputation is such that I thought, okay, I better pick this one up. I ought to give it a chance. And yeah, so I look forward to The Dying Earth by Jack Vance, another classic. So I only picked up one more book from Astley Book Farm, and that was an Asimov paperback, The Caves of Steel, which is one of the books in his robot sequence. It's one of his murder mysteries. And I've not read this, but I have previously read The Naked Sun, which is set within the same world, the same sequence, if you like. But I think they're kind of standalone stories. I no longer have The Naked Sun. I read it ages ago. But I haven't read The Caves of Steel, so I'll give this one a chance. Yeah. That could be another one for the next Big Three book review trio. So those were the 4 books that I picked up yesterday. Now, I have ordered a few more vintage books online in recent weeks. So I've got 3 more here to mention. First up, a lovely Penguin paperback of The Death of Grass by John Christopher. It's a classic apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic book, and I deliberately chose this edition because I wanted this cover art. I really like this edition. So this is one from 1956 originally, 1963 reprint. Lovely edition and in pretty good condition. Let me know if you've read this. And my final vintage paperback for today is Night of the Crabs by Guy N. Smith. You may recall, if you've seen on my channel, I quite recently reviewed another of Guy N. Smith's books, Bats Out of Hell, which is a vintage pulp horror novel from the 70s, kind of sci-fi horror. Very entertaining, very pulpy, and this is perhaps his most well-known work, or one of them. So I picked up a copy. I think it was on eBay. I got it at quite a reasonable price because these do sell for quite a lot. Can't wait to give this a try. Got to give this a try at some point. It's about the invasion of giant killer crabs on the Welsh coast. Looking forward to that. And finally, one more thing I got recently, and this is a hardback anthology. It's called Other Worlds, Other Gods: Adventures in Religious Science Fiction. So I saw this and I thought this looks really intriguing. So these are all science fiction stories with a religious theme. And I'll just show you what kind of stories and authors we've got in here. First up, this was published in 1971. And those are some of the authors and the stories that we've got here, including a novella by Philip Jose Farmer called Prometheus, some John Brunner, some Ray Bradbury, and the classic 9 Billion Names of God by Arthur C. Clarke. I have read that one before, but I would like to reread it. So, yeah. I haven't picked up an anthology for a while, but I really like the look of this one. So, those are all the books that I picked up recently. Let me know if you've read any of these, which ones you would recommend. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.